Hi everyone, welcome to Module 7. For Module 7, we're going to focus on the role of excise taxes. And an excise tax is a tax on a specific good, which is going to be focused on how to change consumption levels. And what we're going to focus on in this module is changes in consumption levels to both alcohol and cigarettes. When we look at this chapter, you're going to be looking at alcohol consumption. And you're going to be relating alcohol consumption to other countries. And you notice that the U.S. is just about in the middle in terms of alcohol consumption. When we look at smoking consumption as well, the data is a little bit old from your textbook, but still we're in the middle of the consumption compared to other countries. When we look at economic reasoning and the bads, economic reasoning is useful for any approach to the analysis of bads. These bad behaviors that we have to control, such as cigarette smoking and excessive alcohol consumption. Economic models of addiction, as well as market failure, help determine whether there's justification. Should we intervene in markets? Should we create more standards in these markets? And that's a very important concept that we need to focus on. One economic approach is to assume that there's no real grounds to intervene. So if the consumer chooses rationally and voluntarily, and he's informed of the risk, there's no real side effects. The problem is most people aren't as informed of the risk as we think they should be. So what the government does is they get involved in markets, and what they do is they put these specific taxes on both cigarettes and alcohol to do two things: raise revenue for the government and to also increase or decrease consumption. When we look at the mortality rates, you'll notice the mortality rates is something we focus on. And you focus on the high mortality rates and trying to find solutions. And when we look at solutions, those are where the government will try to pinpoint the most areas of emphasis. And models of addiction, they're not imperfectly rational addiction models. They have some flaws to them that we should focus on. But you'll notice that these models are very important. These models will bring about changes in the market. And what I mean with regard to changes, you'll notice that we have to look at both the short run and long run effects of these models. Now, we have to first focus on what would be an addiction. And there's several theories that have drawn further implications from this analysis. Addiction is more likely for people to discount the future heavily. They really pay less attention to the potential adverse consequences. Addiction is more likely when the effects of past consumption depreciate. So we're looking at past events to focus on how that's going to influence future events. And those past events are very important sometimes. And it puts the government in a very challenging place because we don't know how to deal with these events, and they don't know how much intervention is needed in the markets. So for this week, you're going to be looking at the role of excise taxes. You're going to be looking at focusing on these two aspects, and we're also going to be trying to completing assignment number 2. Now, for assignment number 2, let's go over some things that you're going to be looking at. Here's assignment number 2. I want you to find an economic evaluation in the healthcare journal. Title must contain cost effectiveness and refer to an economic evaluation. It's a 3-page maximum that doesn't include your title page, your reference page. And what I recommend doing is just putting all of these subheadings in your actual report. I think that'll make it much easier to focus on when you do your evaluation. If you put those subheadings in there, when I grade your work, I can easily see what you're looking at, and I can provide more guidance if guidance is needed, and I can easily grade your work very quickly. Here's how you're being graded. 20% for APA formatting, so make sure to have that title page, reference page, and in-text citations. 60% for content development, and 20% for having 3 total pages of content. If you'd like me to pre-grade your work, let me know, but I look forward to your effort.